As we focus to perceive with the physical eye, we are compelled to observe how our attention is one-pointed on a straight line. We can only analyze and focus on one object at a time, or better to say, on one touch point. Equally, because this capacity unfolds in this manner, the source of the projection, which is the observer or the focal point from where the attention happens, is also one-pointed. Notice this by trying to look in both eyes in the mirror simultaneously, and you'll notice that your attention point will automatically be focused only on one eye. If you try to focus on two objects at the same time, you lose track of one, or your attention will fall in between, and the space around will be blurred, like when you're capturing an image with the camera of a specific object and the background is blurred. Furthermore, we will notice by movement that this observer is of a nature beyond the so-called physical eye or the visual physical faculty, which is permeated through the bodily organ. In that, perhaps to some extent, if the words are interpreted in their deeper understanding, they reveal the faculty to see and observe as metaphysical. And because we see with one source, even if taken from the perspective of the physical organ only, through which the faculty is provided, the source of attention is singular. In that, we'll notice where we're not seeing with the physical eyes, but with an inner ability, the spiritual eye, that sees through the eyeballs, the mental faculty. Moreover, notice that the same eye which is singular is the mental eye that operates when you close the eyelids. The mental eye, which I also define as spiritual, is that which perceives or projects the physical. The two words here, mental and spiritual, that are used to denote the ability to see, perceive and interact with the objective world, might cause some differentiation in understanding. These two are not contradictory or different, but only represent the same capacity through different measures, because they are ultimately the same. Therefore, because we define and perceive the physical with the mental capacity, we think they may be distinct. Nonetheless, we cannot differentiate the two. You see, from the material perspective, the mental capacity is contained in neurological systems which take place in the brain, that happens to be encased in the skull of a material body. The mental is in the physical and vice versa. The mind is in the brain and the brain is in the mind. And this is a particular place for the mind to be located and manifested. When the immediate surroundings are observed, the experience that unfolds is filled with variation of the mental capacity through multiple forms, revealing the space as mental in constitution, intrinsically in itself. While it makes a lot of sense if looked at from a broader perspective that everything is contained in a larger whole, everything must be conscious and therefore mental. And so, as we look at the physical, as we understand perception through science, we might find this gap and distinction between the observer and the observed. The line or space that apparently divides the two makes this appear separate, but nonetheless there is no separation. For ease of understanding, sciences have defined these processes by differentiation, but knowingly or unknowingly, inevitably, by denying one, they have integrated it into the other. In that, by denying the spiritual world, they have unknowingly or deliberately integrated the spiritual into the material. As we know, the spiritual is the mental, and the mental operates in the material. There is no duality as such in observation, and in this, the observed is the observer. The mental is the physical, and much more the spiritual that is the mental is the material. There are only different degrees of experience, and therefore the names tend to separate imaginatively as something being greater by distinction from the other. Nonetheless, there is one grand cosmos that encompasses everything, the cosmic mother which holds everything in it. Whether we find objects that we define as physical or dimensions that might be perceived as ethereal, finer realities and realms, they all exist ultimately in the same space, on different levels of perception. Therefore, you are always in that space. You are in heaven, if you wish to use this term. If you are living on a planet that is revolving and floating in the heavens of space, you are consequently in that heaven already. So, you are home. You belong here, part and parcel of the grand cosmos. You are ever anew and born in this moment constantly. Therefore, we should affirm, I am born here in this moment, ever new. We choose to be in this space. You see, there is nowhere else to be but in this space, because you are it. You exist here, so you are this existence. In the sense that finding ourselves here in this specific experience with the whole story of the earth and its histories, the humankind and the solar system, is our choice. It is a co-created experience. We all participate here. It is a platform for being. It is a platform for being, where the grand cosmos is at play. This beautiful, observable duality that we experience is a blessing. Imagine only the cosmic power, how is manifested in this world as yin and yang, as female and male, to have a love affair. Isn't that just graceful? In truth, there is no separation. It is a dance that the divine plays to meet itself. In essence, the individualities and things we may experience as polar opposites all take place and exist in the same space, made with approximations of various measures of the same all-permeating substance or underlying core source. And so we are floating and being held in the lap of the cosmic grandmother. She's permeating everything. Think of something in this world and that is already part of the whole. Everything is there for good in nature. We have the keys to the doors of heaven within us, intrinsically inherited, because we are part and parcel. We are the cosmos. You are invested with the power of the whole universe. Just imagine. You have everything at your disposal. The grand cosmic grandmother is providing everything. How blessed we are to be in this space. We are truly blessed. Think for a moment about the technologies we have at hand today and imagine that as an extension of ourselves. The cosmic power is so diverse that it does not discriminate. Everything just is. If something is in our world as we perceive it, that means it is also conscious and part of the cosmic power. The many technological and artificial intelligences found in this world are also permitted to be. And because they exist, they have the same level of validity as part and parcel of the grand existence. Just imagine the human being as you perceive yourself in this experience of life, gifted and invested with the key to unlock the secrets of the universe. So powerful is the capacity of the human entity that is immeasurable if considered and explored. There is no limit in the sense of creativity and experience, that being in and part of the whole, the being is the whole. Just imagine for a second what we can achieve. You are this existence. You are, and that's all. You've ever been, and you shall ever be, forevermore. You are provided with everything in your scenario of life. Just look at particularities without judging. No matter what life situation, if gratitude is allowed, you'll soon realize how much more you are when you look at the whole as belonging to and with the whole. From one perspective, you are everything and everyone. You have a nice, cozy, or perhaps a rough parcel where you rest your body, and no matter where you are, the grand cosmic mother is holding you in her lap. Just leave aside the apparent distinction in materiality or grade of comparison, and see that you are still being held in the same space. If you strip away the materiality and only see yourself as being, floating as a being in the deep space, permeated by love all over, a rainbow of light is as a blanket holding you. You've been endowed with so many blessings. Even what seems to be a hardship is often a blessing. You have beautiful people around with distinct, rich in variation and healthy characters. You have people serving for the greater good, everyone doing their bit. Thanks to all, we have services provided to utilize, shelter and food, education and information, technological means, and all the services that society provides. The grocery store at our disposal daily, our neighbors, everyone playing their roles in service of all and for all. Just look at things from this angle, that you belong and matter because you are here. You are this existence yourself. How much easier to understand everything. You deserve everything and you are free. Experience, everything will come to you. There's no rush because there's nowhere to go. You are here already and you are eternal. They may say to you joy and heaven in the afterlife, or punishment and hell, but you are in that space now, as even if we transmigrate as soul entities and individualities, will always be in the grand cosmos, the whole and all. As they say, you arrived, you are here, and you've been here already. Enjoy, be graceful and grateful. Everything is good. There is no such thing as duality from the perspective of good and bad. It is all just experience. Everything is good and you are provided with everything because you are intrinsically life itself. How wondrous, simply amazing, the joy of existence.